still, missing a spiritual memo that went out. Like it's up for them. Is they're still doing the same thing. It's like they're still trying to use energy weapons. I heard the shit like last night loud and clear. Like, I get what you're trying to do. You're like, really, just stop now. It's getting sad. It's been sad. You can stop. Like, it's just a done deal. Like, just go away. You'll find something better to do with your time besides messing with other people. And speaking of other people, all these people that they have or are trying to pay off at this point, I think a lot of them get it. It's not worth their souls that they're selling for. They're getting two for the price of one, but really they're just they thought they were. They thought it was like a buy one get one free, but one got bought and one got free. So it's and it wasn't. I guess they bought one person and they sold their soul for basically free because they're not getting what they thought they were getting, because they're sitting here trying to imitate our lives, our souls with money. It doesn't make sense, because it's not, souls are not duplicable. They are a fingerprint. We all have our own individual energy and soul, so they're trying to make their lives look like what we feel like on the inside and what we actually are on the inside on a daily basis. That it doesn't change no matter how much you try to torture it out of us or whatever it is you're calling yourself, but you're torturing yourself. This is what you get up. You set your sunrise and sunset by another person. Like, you are that person's slave, man. Let me tell you, that person's promoter or whatever else. It's just like, it's no, and it doesn't transmute energy for you. It just transmutes for them. You're still fucking miserable, sitting there, being foghorn leghorn about the situation. Like, these motherfuckers got like second chances at life, many chances at life to do life right or do it, without being codependent on the collective. It's time to kick that little bird out the nest now. It's time for you to go, little buddy. You just scurry on down the road now. I don't know what to tell you. Just like you want to follow me around like a pet, but try to act like a pit bull to my, when you think you got me on the ropes. It doesn't work like that, dude. Y'all can't transform like that because you're so one-dimensional. You people are literally stuck on 1 and 2D. That is where you are. That's where you're stuck. You don't want to elevate to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all the way up. Some of us are, someone like, I've watched some people surpass me, like 10th dimensional type stuff. It's like the world is changing. It's not what you want it to be. It's not going to be that again. That energy can no longer exist because, people are getting it. It's just like the people that you are like pointing your finger at, saying they're this, that, and the third. You're trying to put labels on them. Report illegal dumping. That's, like, stop dumping this trash off around earth angels. Like, it doesn't belong here. Take it to the landfill with the rest of the people who want to be on that type of time. On that, that demon time. They're trying to scare somebody, trying to torture somebody, trying to, work somebody's nerves. It's over. Okay, it's like, it's at this point, like the people who were scared, it's just a show to them now. You're just putting on you're jesters and trying to act like you're kings and queens and royalty because you're sitting up printing money. I mean, what the fuck? That's all they're doing is sitting up printing money. And I'm pretty sure at this point the U.S. dollar doesn't really have any real value. Like, they're like the laughing stock. Do you see their shit in politics? It's like the Hunger Games out this mother. Like, I do mad respect for the lady who went ahead and laid it out on the table, for the debate, and saying facts are facts, and like that's where the world is going. It's not going towards, the president is black, the president is white, the president is getting blown by this person. Like, okay, that's their personal life, and that's what the karma they suffer behind the scenes with their, whoever they chose to be in their life, that person in the third party. Like, who the fuck cares? Are they running the country? Is the country getting ran right? Like, they want to go all in the person's, like, behind the scenes and not showing, completely disregarding that, we're actually going around healing people, changing the world for the better, being the change that the world wants to see, or they claim they want to see, because motherfuckers, it's too many people that have like literally fallen for this. You know, they claim, oh, we want change for the better, blah blah, and then keep making choices that continue to make it worse. Like, yeah, to continue to either keep it stagnant, stuck in the same situation, or make it worse. And staying stagnant or stuck in a situation where external energies are constantly working against you, pretending to work with you, and you can't see through that illusion because all you see is some printed paper that, you know, makes you fake special or whatever, you know, because you have more of it. Oh, I was able to print out more copies than you, the Xerox machine, you know, like, I can eat alphabet soup and shit out better logic than what these people are running around with right now. Like, and it's crazy. Like, these people want to be a tampon string, like, to the womb of the collective. It's so bad. You know, it's just like, if you don't like something, look away. You know, if you don't like something about somebody else, look away. Like, you don't have to interact with that person, especially if that person isn't trying to even be around you, isn't even interacting with you, isn't like doing anything, doesn't want shit to do with you already. And maybe that's why they're mad. Maybe that's why, like, you know, they have no discipline to stay off of your page, looking for what you're doing, trying to look at and find out how you're doing it to create their milk and honey. Our milk and honey is in our mind. You keep creating hell for yourself because you're looking at the so below. You need to look at the as above. You know, like, it's like literally, oh, pretending like you don't see nobody. Well, maybe because my eyes are focused on the Most High. I don't care about what you think you want to say to my face, but won't get close enough to get hit. Like, you know, and, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, that's either physically or spiritually. You know, it's just like boundaries. You know, stay in your bubble, stay in your little sad depression bubbles. You know, making your depression patties and depression pies, and we'll be, you know, out here roaming. Actually, this is just a, oh jeez, this is kind of like a, I'm not gonna say a bim, but it's like kind of like wake up type of video. Like, they all are, but it's like a different kind. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm wide awake, and I haven't like done my typical physical, you know, what I haven't done in a long time was do, like, I used to do jiu-jitsu in the morning time. And, you know, I would also notice that these people don't have the ambition to really get up that early because they've been stalking all night. Like, if you don't take your ass somewhere and have several seats, like, please. And thank you for some of you who have, you know, used your intelligence and realized that, you know, facts can change depending upon information. Information is, you know, different variables which change the trajectory of the truth. You know, where is it going? Why are you speaking this truth or whatever, and why are you stuck on it? I'm stuck on this truth because it's taking me to a higher trajectory. They're stuck on their truth, or, you know, which is their assumptions that they make based off of what they see from the correct, because they don't really know us like that, because they can't even get conversation with us. They can't hold a normal conversation because they're so weighed down by these porn sites. Speaking of porn sites, when my phone was stolen and I checked into it with Apple, I realized that someone paid for porn on my phone. How disgraceful. I would never pay for porn. Like, it's like, and it was Pornhub. You can literally, like, get on the internet and watch that shit for free. And if you look on my search history, you just don't find it. At least not for a real long. When I was younger and curious, yeah, I did. And it wasn't even like obsessively. It was like, oh, okay, that's what this is. That's what you know, I guess I get why, you know, people sit here and get addicted to this shit, right? You know, hey, it is, you know, it's just like, but why would you sit there and watch it? That's kind of pathetic. You think, like, you can't go and, you know, because, sorry, the thing about, you know, these dudes, which are, you know, they're getting real sad out here. They are. Like, I was watching some videos on how sad dudes are getting, you know, and the dude, he's just flat out came up to these two women and, you know, offered his sexual services to them, basically prostituting himself, and that was the first thing he had to offer. And then he went to, I'll see if I can post it or something, but I felt bad for the dude because he had taken a lot of losses, but maybe it was karma for maybe how shitty he treated his wife of however many years, 21 years, and she left. I guess he caught her cheating, and I can he said he was loyal, faithful, and committed, but I'm like, what were you loyal, faithful, and committed to? Because he did say, like, unfortunately, God, bless him, like, his daughter passed. He was definitely going through some shit and not able to deal with his internal, because males were never taught to deal with that. So we're sitting up here with these emotionally emaciated, spiritually emaciated men who probably committed to the wrong woman, who played the shit out of them. He probably dropped a Lilith for an Eve, because a Eve can keep up a lie, for a long time. They can be in a commitment that is not organic to them, for the sake of printed paper, for the sake of stability, and for, just that man's provision and protection, give him to fall in love, make all nice with him, probably never put him in his place, and not even willing to have a real, like, discussion with him. It's just like, if I'm not willing to have a discussion for you, you can just forget about being around me at all. Like, that's my whole thing. And if you're not willing to, receive criticism or correction, like I am, or I'm not willing to receive that, I'm not even trying to hear you, you can forget about it, because it's just, you don't need to be around me. If I'm not trying to hear you, then, just move on about your business. Like, it's like, if I realize I made a mistake, I don't mind apologizing at all, but, if you keep doubling down and you don't give me a chance to realize, oh, this was a mistake, I was wrong in this situation. Because people just need self-reflection. People think they need people as a tool, something to be around to take their mind off of what's actually wrong in their lives. It's not the case. People need to get by themselves, get centered, and, and I'm not trying to sound like, oh, yeah, everybody, yeah, I get it. But, as a human being, not a person, right? Because I'll go over, my perspective of that later. Like, hue is a color, not a person, not this thing without a life force. But yeah, back to that. You need time to recharge and everything like that. Like, you don't pick flowers, right? You just leave them in the, leave them to bloom, let them be beautiful, and let them, be something to, be smiled upon. Not praised, just smile upon it. You praise the creator, not the creation. But you can, like, be impressed with the creation and be happy with the creation. Once you sit there and pluck the flower and you don't, replant it somewhere where it can be properly watered and nurtured, that plant is going to die, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna take life force away from you. And that plant dies. That plant goes back to the earth to recreate, which is back into solitude, back into the dark night of the soul, the shadow work, whatever, wherever that dark place is, hermit mode, and it goes and it recreates itself into something more beautiful, and it recreates itself away from you, and that's less beauty and, things to appreciate for you. And that's the whole thing. It's like, these people are growing money thinking they're plucking flowers, and it's like, it's not working for them either way it goes. Plants are dying, and everything, they're trying to pick flowers from everything in their world, and it's just their world is dying, and they're living in a dying reality. That matrix is getting smaller, man. Like, it's a small world after all, and they're picking all these false energies that are stroking their egos, and sometimes their egos are their generals, whatever, it's like, oh, I want you so bad, or you the baddest, you got the biggest, or the tightest, the wettest. Like, if that person is not for you, just say that. Like, you don't need to identify somebody, but that's not something I ever, like, you can tell me whatever you want to, like, your words, your actions will tell me more, because I'm like, I've been nice, but it didn't sit right. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing this stuff, right? But what are you doing it for? So there has to be a combination. Like, one without the other is kind of like, it's just sus. You know, there's gonna be a suspicion now. Like, why are you being this nice? Are you really a nice person? You know, what's really in your mind and your heart while you're performing these actions, and what's you know, what's in your intentions is basically what I'm getting at. What are your intentions when you're saying these nice things, or you're doing these nice things to stroke my ego one way or another? Because I don't need my ego strokes, baby. I mean, you know, I know who I am. Is basically what I'm saying. I know who the fuck I am, and I have for a very long time. You know, I lost sight of it, but you know, people were able to disrupt and distort their energy at a very young age, when my mind was still very impressionable and not fully developed. And after it got fully developed, I guess that's when they really turned up the heat. Honestly, I think, if as far as I can recollect, that's when they really started turning up the heat, and you know, just increase until I was like, okay, I'm just collecting data, you know, collecting information on these trolls, you know, and like listening and paying attention to my surroundings. And yeah, it's you know, it's kind of like you type a whole paragraph, you know, stating several points, and they only respond to one point. That is what these narcissists do, and it always goes back to something that, you know, that works against, you know, they try to use against you, you know, and not saying that you need validation, but it validates who they are actually on the inside. You know, they pick out the part that benefits them and works against you only, you know, and instead of just you know, I was wrong, you know, what would you suggest I do, or what would you like me to do, you know, like I used to be, you know, like whatever it takes to make a relationship, you know, make things cohesive. I won't say make it work, but make it cohesive. You know, I'll try to figure a way to do that to work for both of us. Now it's like, nah, that's just, you know, like you have to get into your selfish bag a little bit, but also know when to be compromising. If that makes sense, you know, because I've dealt with a lot of shitty people, a lot of narcissists, and it's just like I wasn't attracted to them. They were like, I was attracted to them, but they were coming to me. It's not, these aren't people I was like trying to, you know, be cool with, because it's just like, you know, energy check, you know, conversation, you know, a little chit chat with them, and kind of try to, you know, I won't say dig, I was just being myself, and it just exposed to me who they were. It's just like, okay, I fell back, and they still kept coming around, and they realized what had happened. They realized I'd fallen back, and then they get mad that I pulled my energy and started acting all erratic and sporadic, and, you know, going in the wrong trajectory. I'm like, look, man, you know, if you'd have come correct this chick, man, the first time, you know, because second chances don't work for people like these. Like, it isn't working for them, because they're just like stuck in the same mindset. You know, like a lot of them anyway. I'll say a lot of them. The majority of them, the second chance it doesn't work, man. It's not worth the chunk it takes out of your soul just to give these people your energy for a second time. It's just like, okay, bye. You know, like energy checks. You know, like I have been back to a couple different places, but it was, you know, square business. You know, and they were just looking for shit. You know, one of them were in particular, they were just like looking for a reason, but you know, that's just some of their character, and some of them were like, oh yeah, like, you know, apologetic. You know, could have been real, could have been fake. You know, I will never know, because it's like, you know, same day I did go back. I did, you know, there was a block, and I'm like, I was being congratulated on my work ethic, which is what I was there for. I wasn't there for anything else. I made, like, you know, one mistake of like a change in policy that I wasn't aware of since I'd been there. But hey, I guess that's what I got blocked on, right? Okay, so there's that. Because, you know, I put in work. Like I make sure to commit to whatever role I'm committing to at my jobs that I go to. I commit to it. Nobody can say like I'm a sorry person, because I'm just not. It's like, you know, I had some jobs where it's just like they literally didn't want me to do anything else but be of customer service. And, you know, I did that. It was kind of painful just to be standing still like that, but it gave me a chance to like be in my head, and, you know, and I started creating. And that's what they don't want, collective. They don't want us to ourselves. Like, why can't you go be alone? Why do you have to always be in my energy? Why can't you find your own people to be around? Because they don't have any. Everybody they have is like a snake like them, and they're literally creating their own hell on earth to attract similar energies as them to be around them and want to come to band up to destroy the collective. I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, we can literally like all live in peace if you stop, come correct or don't come at all. Like, just move on with your sad ass life that you feel like you have to go and spread misery and think you're spreading truth. Like, it's whether it's some of it is true and it's like painful truth, but most of it is like assumptions they made. Like, recently I had there's been people stupid enough to say like, oh, well, I thought you were the one who let people believe you slept with 30 people. Yeah, I let them believe it because none of their fucking business to begin with. Why are you worried about the collectives? Like, it's not just me, it's just like the collectives moon in their genitals all the time, like nonstop. Like, get off our nuts, or proverbial nuts, please, and thank you. And anatomically, we're all born female, just so you know. The male genitalia stems from, we all started off with clitoris. So that's a fun fact, so and some of these dudes, they never developed the mental capacity to deal with what it takes to have a full extension, for lack of a better term. Right now it's early, for lack of a better term, of themselves, that they take so much pride in broadcasting about or lying about, whichever. Like the gentleman, I can't even say gentleman, dude just, it was just a lost soul. The dude was in super bad turmoil or super bad karma, and those chicks, they knew not to get involved with that shit, because that would have been like, dude probably like beating on him and all kinds of crazy stuff that was not organic to their spirit, because he was going through it, man. He was going through a lot of losses, like deaths and separations, and it's just part of life. That's like, I think that's something that the collective is. Well, I know I'll speak for myself on this. This is something I just always understood. Like, everything's temporary. People, places, things, everything's temporary. No matter how much love you have for a person, most people are seasons, reasons, blessings, or lessons. And I just learned to just move on from it. It wasn't that, damn, I wish they could have stayed around longer, or like that I didn't enjoy their company, I didn't appreciate them, because I tried to make sure I showed them that I appreciated them. My actions and my words spoke for them. I always spoke life into people. And, I wasn't ever like truly verbally abused. I did do like name calling here and there, and I did get a little off kilter where I was a little physically abusive, but it's just like, once they express to me like, just don't, okay, cool. Like, I don't like being called names, and I would correct myself. It's just like, because it was just like being like the contrast of being around like people who do that type of shit, and then thinking it's okay for the next person, going around somebody who set boundaries. That changed me when I was corrected. I straight up changed, like on the spot, and I try, like, but the thing is, like, maintaining the balance of staying around trash, like people with toxic behaviors, maybe they don't know better. Like, you correct them and they just keep on. It's just like, that means they aren't ready for the change yet. You gotta keep it moving. If it doesn't fit you, if it don't fit you, must quit, right? That glove ain't fitting you, it's not fitting your soul. It's a soul glove. Like, then keep it moving, man. If you're not able to move freely in the glove and continue your work, maybe those gloves are just too tight for you. Like, maybe you're working and like in culinary, consistency, the gravity of whatever the whatever is in that pot you're stirring, because you could stir it, into your wrist, or stir it and it's too light and you just knock the pot off the stove and yeah, the food's gone, or like I said with the cutting, you might not cut hard enough or deep enough for the shape, for things to be shaped like you need them to be shaped, to be cohesive with the rest of the ingredients in the pot that you're stirring. And mess around and stir the wrong pot, you just got a nasty ass plate of caramel pie, or a plate of caramel, a dish best served cold. So yeah, it's just like, I think most people are getting it yet now, and they're starting to become human. They're starting to add that love to their life, their love to themselves, and it's starting to bring back their creativity, bring back that inner child. They're starting to heal their inner child and all those wounds they had, while some of these people, they just refuse to let it go and just want to hang on to it. Yeah, and I'm just like, they refuse to believe the lies and narratives and stuff that simply doesn't have anything to do with the growth of themselves or anybody else. And that's what we're all here for. Like, the devil really is in the details. It's just like, yeah, you got duped like that. I let you believe it, because I'm not here to be constantly fucking explaining myself to people who don't care to understand. Like, if you don't want to understand, like, you're just dead set on, if that's what you picked up out of all the shit I've said, like all the high vibrational things I said, that's what you go back to, then you can live on that lower frequency, hanging on to my genitals, because you'll forever, that'll be your heaven's gate then, and that's where you'll forever be knocking, bitches. People with a mindset like that, like, it's just like, no, it's just like, there is no way for them to control that switch, like, to me or anyone in the collective who is of a high frequency. You got to elevate your mind to really just even get a conversation with, like, our standards are raised, man. Like, they're up there, they're all the way up, and like, they had to be raised, and that's what they're trying to trick us to believe. Like, people had to be in a certain frequency at one point in their life instead of a fallen angel or fallen from grace, that to even get in our energy, to even have a life that included us outside of them being toxic. Like, they had to wear a mask to get in, and now our powers of discernment are a lot stronger now, because we've been tested. We've seen enough masks. We know what a mask looks like. We know when you're wearing the fucking makeup. We get it. We know when your actions and your words are the makeup, and when it's just your just how you show up in the world. We see you, okay? Like who was that cat? And do we can see you? Like, it's that, I don't know which one it was, but those two gentlemen squashed beef recently, which I'm so proud of that. Yeah, it's just kind of like, mind your goddamn motherfucking business, and God forgive me if that was in vain, but that was definitely a Kevin Hart joke. Mind your business. Like, if you mind your business and really work on what's wrong with you, like, instead of pointing fingers, like, there is nothing wrong with you. I know I got, like, work in progress. Good Lord, I got a lot of work to do. And, that's what I do with my alone time, is I work on me. I sit up, work on me, and then I create. And, me working on me and healing me is the inspiration for me. It draws the creativity, it draws the abundance, it attracts the opportunities for me. I'm literally like living on a prayer. Because my financial situation says poverty, but my mindset is wealth, my loves. It's really and truly I have a wealth mindset. I was blessed with that, because anybody else in my circumstances who isn't on a high frequency, who isn't willing to work on themselves and do the work, instead of standing around screaming about what's wrong with somebody else, what's wrong with you? That what would make you come out here and scream about that? Why are you yelling at? Don't raise your voice and prove your argument. And if we should never come to an agreement, at least you did that. At least you tweaks your mind in whatever trajectory, right? It might take you to hell, it might take you to heaven. Like for me, it can go either way, and that's on the physical, mental, or emotional. I could take you either direction, and that's like the collective in general. Because like I said, the dark without the light, they want you to delve too far into that dark side so you can come play with them. And I'm like, it's time for that. Like people are trying to like improve the world, improve the frequency of this world, and they're out here trying to keep people in a devil energy. Focus on what somebody else is doing. Focus on people's sacral, and focus on destroying their solar plexus chakra, their crown chakra, their third eye, throat chakra, heart chakras. Definitely their heart chakras, and their third, so it'll affect their third eye chakra to see only the worst of the worst. So they're literally out here creating their own nightmares, trying to manifest off of people's sacral. Trying to get us to respond from a lower frequency from our sacral chakra, so they can figure out how to control our foundation and keep the world in a toxic place. Like trying, because they know what they're doing. So it's not like they can go to court and plead insanity. If you come back and do the same dumb fucking shit, then expect to go to jail with a longer sentence, or be in a situation that you can never repeat that energy again. So I think that's what they aren't understanding. That's why they're out here so frustrated and repressed, because they're, keeping their frustration and, repressing them to themselves, and they're not working on them. They're not being vulnerable about them. There's plenty of listening ears that are willing to listen out here, now that the frequency is higher. That's what the world's changing into. We can vent to each other again. We can talk to each other again without it being somebody's quote unquote entertainment. If we're going through a hard time, like if they're going through a hard time, the least you can do is be a listening ear and not a running fucking mouth. If you're gonna run your mouth, run it to tell people who can help. Don't run it to tell people who are on a low frequency. Oh, let's sit around and talk shit around some candles and hope it gets worse. Like that's where you're like faith and worth. Faith without work is like dead. It doesn't work. So it's just like, you can sit up and talk all the trash you want to, but if there's like, I'm gonna do this tomorrow and I'm gonna improve my life like this tomorrow, but if you ain't putting the work behind it, your words don't mean nothing. It fizzles out. That flame is gone, baby. It's like that flame it's gonna snap, crackle, pop, do what it does, and then there's nothing gonna manifest off that fire. Nothing's gonna be cooking off that shit, because you haven't put any work behind it. It's like you're stirring the pot, you're just burning up food. You're not stirring the pot of your own energy, you're just burning up food. But be careful of the ingredients you put in that pot and what you're stirring, and how you're stirring it. On top of that, not everything can be a whisk. Not everything can be a slow stir. It's got to be just the right melody, and that's where the Most High comes into. Because the Most High has control of the spoon, right? Airplane here, like you treat the babies, feed, what are you being fed? Like, is it something? Is it carrots and peas, or is it like you're getting fed like pureed Oreos or some shit like that? I'm sorry. I guess I'm still a little sleepy, and maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But man, get on the good foot, man. It's just like, even if you're not on the good foot, just stay the hell away from people who are trying to be like constantly trying to grapple hook and drag somebody back to a past that wasn't even a reality for them, because you done made a bunch of assumptions. You done went down the line of rumors and gossip. Like that study goes, it's like they'll put people in a line, and then they'll tell one person one thing, and it'll be a long line that they'll have, and they'll tell them to tell the next person, and by the time it's at the end of the line, it's a completely different story. That's how this has went for them. This gossip in other people's businesses and in a negative trajectory is what the apple was. That is what is destroying what was destroying the world. That serpent that's in other people's ear about somebody else's business, and everything gets convoluted about that earth angel, that spirit guide, that walking, living, breathing ancestors that we have on this earth, and they're sitting up here convoluting the energy of it with gossip. That's the apple do not bite from. If you ain't hear from the horse's mouth, if that is not your experience with that person, you need to keep it moving. And if you are on your spiritual journey, you will have intuition and discernment your own that you should listen to, and know that that person's energetic field is not a match for you. Their energy, how they're moving, their tendencies, what have you, it's not right for you. And your chapter with that person needs to close. Your walk with that person needs to end or be reset, and maybe you come back to that chapter later. Maybe that person's a recurring character in your life. I'm sorry, I got the sniffles a little bit. You just never know. If maybe that person is supposed to come back around, maybe they are not. But with all this energy in between, the recurring character in your life has to get written out of the script. They have to be, they have to have a scene where they die, and that's sometimes that's just unfortunate, because that person could have been like the checkpoint or the boost pad, like you see in the racing games. They'll have like a little boost pad that it gives you a little turbo charge to amplify, accelerate, or hasten your path forward. But these people want to sit here and get in the middle of it. Just like, seriously, really and truly, find you something better. Find something safe to do, because it's not safe for them anymore. It's really not. They're in danger. They're scared. They're frantic. They're having nightmares. They're trying to give us nightmares. As above, so below. So what's going on in their mind, their heart, their lives, that's what they're trying to bring so below. They're trying to bring the hell that is in their mind to this earth. And it's just not. The Most High said it's enough. It's not happening. It's not fucking happening. Keep it moving. Move on with your life, man. And for my collective, and I love you guys. Like, seriously, ask questions. Don't just jump head first into like the bullshit that somebody tells you about it, and then like they try to like orchestrate a situation behind the scenes for that person. Really pay attention. Like, is this normally what happens with this person? Is this normally what this person does? Like, when they're left to their own devices, find out what they do. What do they do when they're by themselves, when they're at their highest frequency, and everything like that. Because really, generally, people do give off like their first impression as their best selves. Like when somebody says, "Oh, so tell me about yourself," they usually do. Like, this is my highest frequency. They do try to present them best selves to you. Like, what do you like to do for fun? Da 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 da. And they will, most of the time they'll tell you, and that's, sometimes I used to be a sarcastic asshole when I would be talking to some people I knew were of like bad intentions and trash energy. I tell them about my lower self. So either way, the truth comes out. It's either about your higher self or your lower self. It just depends on what frequency you're matching with that person. What where the frequencies meet up and match. And sometimes your frequency with that person's frequency, a positive and a negative, brings you to a lower frequency. And positive makes a positive and a negative makes a negative, and a negative and a negative makes a positive. And I think they're just stuck on the negative trajectory, thinking that the two negatives are going to balance out, but you're still balancing out on a lower frequency. Bring it to the positive, right? Like, I can still be a sarcastic asshole, but it's just like, I don't know, you don't mean any good for me. But I'm like, what? I'm just going to tell you the real me, which is where I vibrate, where my frequency usually stays, is in a higher frequency. And I'll tell you what I like to do. And if you try to come along and destroy that, guess what? The Most High got you, just like the Most High got me, right? Like, not in the same way though. It just depends on what, keep that same energy, and see what happens for you. Like I said, my finances don't say otherwise, but that is my protection from people who want, from me what they believe to be abundance, which would, if I gave it to them, it would more than likely drain me. And that was a lesson I had to learn about myself on a physical realm, is I'm a very giving person. Like, if I had money, I'd give it. So I know why the Most High has me where the Most High has me right now on a financial aspect, and I'm not tripping. I know it's going to all come back full circle. The energy I put out, the energy I get back. If I'm putting out negative energy, I try not to do that at all. But if I got to get with somebody, then I got to get with them, right? It just is what it is. That's just how it works. It says turn the other cheek. It didn't say, it didn't say anything about not flipping the tables and, all this stuff. And you only got so many cheeks to turn. There's only so many times I'm going to do it. It might not even be one. It might be on site. You just never know. And so it's just it's something that you didn't do, then maybe I'm not fucking talking to you, right? Maybe it's something you're thinking about doing, and then you got the guilty conscience about it and decided to attack, someone else. Bitch, if they weren't talking to you, then they weren't talking to you, right? And like, which brings me to a thing. It's just kind of like, these people act like they're saying things to be so savage in public, right? Or whatever. And you're not talking to me, because that's not even me. It never was me. It was who somebody else assumed me to be, and they went out and, made it a trend or something to do shit like this, and now you look fucking stupid. Like, because that shit was never true. Now that's what they're really mad about, because they fucking look stupid. Because that's not something that was true. It was something they chose to believe off of some foghorn leghorn motherfucker that was in their face so much that bullying them, right? In their face, just bullying them. They're not realizing that this person is force feeding them this information, right? Forcing it down their throat, forcing them to believe it. Like they literally there with me every day, and they were in their face so much. And I think that's the whole problem, is they were playing in their face, not mine. Like, the intention was for me to be the joke, but I'm like, now it's them. It really, the whole time it was them. Like, I'm putting the jokes on Facebook. I'm putting it up for them to see, like, look, man, what you're doing with this person. Look at the energy. Like, I've literally watched this situation, and it's just, I have no control of other people. Everybody has free will, so I will let you have that. I'm not going to be in your face every day trying to convince you either come to my page for good reason and good attention to find out the truth, or you're simply fucking off. If you're not here for the right reason, that's what you're doing. You're fucking off. Cool. Do that. Regardless, my work's going to get done. The Most High work it's going to get done, with or without me, with or without you. I choose to do the work of the Most High. At least that's what I feel like I'm being guided to do. If it's a demon talk, just to be, somebody let me know. Somebody in the collective let me know. Because these people don't even realize that they're talking about fucking demons. I do not mind being corrected. And direct is the best approach for me. Pull me aside. I don't give a shit. Like, we can have that conversation. I'm not scared of a conversation. Like, you know what? You might just be totally wrong about this, and here's why I feel like you are, or that you actually are, and here's where you've proven it. I prefer facts and truth over, I thinks, but I'm open to perspectives. I most definitely am, because especially in different environments and everything like that, because maybe in this environment, this is where I'm wrong, and I'll make that decision with my free will, whether that's an environment I want to participate and be a part of or not, because everybody should be given that basic human right. Like, these people are literally trying to take away your basic human rights, your basic free will, and people are just lapping that shit up, like, like kibbles and bits, and this motherfucker just eating it. It doesn't make sense. It wasn't making sense, and people, now that we've gotten our throat chakras reactivated, right? Because at one point they were able to silence us with the shame tactics and the stalking. Like, they were able to do that, but it's just like, look, I go when the Most High says it's time for me to go. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you'll fuck around and be plotting and planning on me and have a car accident on the way to my place, to where I am. Fuck around and have a heart attack for even speaking on my name. Saying you serious as a heart attack and then have one. Because they weren't saying, the one thing they weren't saying, or maybe they weren't realizing it, is the instant karma they would get every time they would have a fucking bad thought about you. Collective, about us. They were neglecting the fact that, they were paying karma. They were paying heavy karma already with just the thought of it, just the putting that plan in motion. The money they had to spend just to do this shit. Man, the resources they used up just to do this shit. Where's the money going? Why are we trading trillions of dollars in debt? Who the fuck are we going? Jupiter? Like, I'm trying to understand that. I don't understand why, we're paying taxes to be attacked. We're paying taxes for these people to be in control. Seriously? For them to be in control and keep us in this impoverished state of, impoverished life and impoverished state of mind. What are we paying taxes for? Honestly, food, everything has a tax. To exist in California, you're paying a fucking tax. And this is like mindfuck capital. Like, everything looks cool on the outside, but they will sit up here and play all these different kinds versus like somewhere where I come from, they're more straight up on the 3D with it, on the physical. Like, we'll fuck you up for real. But like, I get that, and I actually like respect that more. Just like, I just steer clear. Like, that's one of the reasons I do avoid eye contact, because I did come from a very hostile environment. And then like I avoid eye contact too, because I'm also just, it's all over. Overall, not fucking interested. Are you having a conversation with me? Why do I need to make eye contact then? Do I need to smile at every fucking person and say hello? Seriously? Is that you guys' way of energy checking? You people, not you humans. Like, I could walk by a person, never interact with them, never look at them, and, good energy. That's all I need. Like these people are like zombies. They see a light, it's just like, like tweaking. They are tweaking, because that's what they're used to. They're used to the dark, and they start attacking the light. It's just like, you can't attack the light, baby. The light gonna shine no matter what you do. And putting out somebody else's candle isn't gonna make yours burn any brighter. So you can just quit that shit. You can really just keep it moving. Like, seriously. And I guess this is a venting video too. Like, I'll say that. I'll give it that. I'm venting. I'm ranting a little bit, because I'm like, these people are still doing the same shit. And all we're doing is minding our business. All they're watching us do, literally, all these hidden cameras, all this surveillance, all this stalking shit, they're just watching us mind our fucking business, as they should be doing. They're watching us be the example. They're watching us change the world, as they remain stagnant and in hell. We're trying to pull the world out of hell. Like, that's what we're doing. We're lifting a frequency from hell, right? Because nobody was happy. Like, they can pretend to be happy all they want to with their commercials and shit, and you're not fucking happy. If you gotta sit up and make it's like a job or something. Anything you need, you don't have to fucking sell it to people. It doesn't need a commercial. I stay away from foods with commercials. If that food has a commercial, I am not fucking with it. Like, I'm not eating it. It's just not happening. And yeah, it's just, they got a case of the can't takes. Oh man, that would have been cool to have. But it's a case of the can't takes. They can't take that the frequency is rising. We are elevating ourselves. We are choosing, making better and healthier choices for our soul, more resonant choices to our natural selves, to our organic selves. And with that, collective, I'll leave you. Take care of your real self, your true self, your highest frequency self. Love each other, take care of each other, take care of yourself. Most importantly, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of each other. Remember to drink your water, mind your business. Again, I love you. You guys take care.